You woke up this morning and made choices. You picked your clothes. You chose your words. You decided what to care about and what to ignore. You believed you were in control. You believed it was you behind the wheel. But what if that was a lie? A beautiful illusion? What if every move you made was already written, not by fate, but by your mind, programmed long before you knew what choice even meant? Imagine this: a prison so perfect you can't see the walls, a cage built from childhood, forged by trauma, shaped by voices you trusted and fears you never questioned. That prison is your own mind, and it has one job: to keep you safe. But in doing so, it also keeps you small, silent, stuck. You smile in public, but inside you scream. You love someone, but you still run when things get real. You work hard, but sabotage every step forward. You think it's your fault. But what if it's not? What if your entire life has been playing out on a script, a silent set of instructions planted in you when you were too young to resist? They said you were free. They said you could be anything. But they never told you that freedom means nothing when your choices are being made by a version of you that no longer exists. And so today, we enter the illusion. We pull back the curtain. We face the one enemy that hides inside your own skin. Because the greatest lie your mind ever told you was that it belonged to you. Since birth, we've been fed a story, a powerful story, one that says, you are free. You are the author of your destiny. You are in control. But what if that story was just another script, a cover written by the system, by society, by parents, by pain? Think about it. When did you first choose who you wanted to be? Before you could talk? Before you could say no? You were praised when you behaved, punished when you disobeyed, taught to conform, to please, to obey. And each time you adjusted, a new part of your true self died quietly, and the illusion grew stronger. You learned to call your compliance kindness. You called your silent maturity. Your people-pleasing became your identity, and your fear of judgment, you mistook it for wisdom. The world around you was shaping you, not through violence, but through repetition, reward, punishment, approval. And here's the most dangerous part. You didn't even notice, because they told you you were choosing it. But how can you choose when the options were already placed in front of you, when the consequences were already drawn, when saying no meant losing love, and saying yes meant losing yourself? The illusion of choice is the most powerful form of control, because if they can make you believe it's your decision, you will never rebel. Most of us aren't free, weary just performing, living inside a carefully designed cage that looks like a palace. And the scariest part? We decorate the walls ourselves. We make it feel like home, because the unknown real freedom is too terrifying to face. Scientists once believed that free will was a crown jewel of human intelligence, that we made conscious, rational decisions after weighing logic, emotions, and goals. But modern neuroscience says otherwise. Your brain makes decisions before you become aware of them, milliseconds, even seconds before. In a chilling study by neuroscientist Benjamin Libet, researchers found that your brain starts preparing an action before you consciously decide to do it. That means by the time you say, I chose this, your brain had already decided. You're just catching up, like a puppet, trying to explain the tug of its own string. Your thoughts? Not as original as you think. Your reactions? Conditioned. Your emotions? Predicted by algorithms better than you know yourself. Every decision you make, from the food you eat to the people you trust, is shaped by neural pathways formed in childhood, strengthened by repetition, and reinforced by trauma. You're not thinking freely. You're moving on rails, and your preferences, often just scars wearing masks. The brands you buy, the faces you're drawn to, the dreams you chase, they all come from invisible influences. Family, culture, survival mechanisms, not freedom. Your mind is a machine. It runs scripts, and unless you disrupt them, it will continue choosing your life for you. This doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But now that you know, you can no longer pretend it's all you. Somewhere in your past, you learn how to survive, not from books, not from wisdom, but from pain. As a child, you felt emotions too big for your body to hold. Rejection, shame, fear, abandonment. And because no one taught you how to feel them, you buried them. And in their place, you built rules, silent rules, unconscious rules, the beginning of your internal script. Don't speak. They'll leave. Be perfect, or you'll be punished. Don't need anyone. They'll hurt you. Stay small. It's safer there. These scripts became your truth. They weren't questioned. They were lived, repeated over and over, until they blended into your personality. And here's the tragedy. They were designed to protect you, but now they control you. You choose silence instead of confrontation, because once your voice got you in trouble. You chase love that doesn't love you back, because your nervous system thinks this is what love feels like. You sabotage success, because deep down you still believe you don't deserve it. These are not random mistakes. They are carefully rehearsed roles, written by an earlier version of you who was just trying to survive. But survival is not the same as freedom. And now, those same scripts that once saved you are the ones that are slowly destroying you. Imagine this. There's a version of you that you never see. It doesn't speak. It doesn't sleep. But it pulls the strings, quietly, constantly. It's your subconscious, the puppet master of your life. 95% of your actions come from it. Only 5% from your conscious mind. Let that sink in. You think you're choosing your job, your relationships, your reactions? No, you're responding to programming. Scripts so old, you don't even remember writing them. Every time you flinch when someone raises their voice, every time you shrink when it's time to speak up, every time you laugh when you're actually hurting inside, that's the puppet master at work. It learned from your earliest memories, when love was withheld, when your truth got you punished, when you cried and no one came. And now, it steps in before you can. It silences you before you speak. It pulls you away before you can get hurt. It makes sure you never feel that kind of pain again. But here's the problem. The puppet master doesn't know time. It reacts to now as if it were then. You're not 7 years old anymore, but your reactions still are. That's why you feel stuck. That's why change feels impossible. Because you're not fighting a habit. You're fighting a protector, a ghost from your past, guarding wounds you no longer remember, but still carry. And until you bring that ghost into the light, you will dance on its strings, calling it choice. Ever wonder why you're too sensitive? Or why you avoid conflict? Why you push people away before they get too close? Most of us confuse trauma with personality, but they're not the same. That's just how I am. No, that's how you learn to be. The quiet one? Maybe silence kept you safe. The overachiever? Maybe achievement was the only way you got love. The one who doesn't cry? Maybe crying once led to shame, so you learn to lock it all in. These aren't traits. They re-shields, armor forged in the fire of your past. And you've worn them for so long, you forgot you ever put them on. Think of the woman who's always in control, strong, independent, unshakable. She's admired, but no one sees a scared little girl who learned that needing others only brought disappointment. Or the man who jokes about everything, always the clown, always the light in the room. But behind the smile is a heart that was never allowed to be sad. Your personality isn't a flaw. It's a response, a carefully constructed identity built to survive the pain. And it worked for a while, but now it traps you, because every time you act from that false self, you betray the real one. Healing doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means remembering who you were before the world taught you who to be. You say you want love, but you push it away. You want peace, but you start arguments. You want success, but you procrastinate until it slips through your fingers. And then you blame yourself. I'm weak. I'm lazy. I'm not good enough. But what if none of that is true? What if self-sabotage is actually self-protection? Your mind is not trying to hurt you. It's trying to keep you safe. Safe from pain you once couldn't handle. That silence after you spoke your truth, now your brain whispers, don't speak. That betrayal after you trusted someone, now your system screams, stay guarded. That shame after failure, now your fear says, don't even try. You're not ruining your life. You're rerunning from the ghosts of your past. But here's the twist. Every time you run, you prove those old beliefs right. See? I can't trust. See? I'm not enough. See? I always mess it up. This is a loop. This is a prison. A pattern so old, it feels like truth, but it's not truth, it's trauma. To escape it, you don't need more willpower. You need compassion. You must look at the part of you that's sabotaging and ask, what pain are you protecting me from? Because when you bring love to the part of you that's afraid, you begin to shift. Not by force, not by shame, but by understanding. And that's how healing begins. Not when you fight your shadow, but when you sit beside it and listen. You were born free, but somewhere along the way, you were trained to forget, trained to doubt, to shrink, to perform, to obey. And now, you carry a life you didn't choose, a personality built from pain, a set of beliefs stitched together from moments you didn't understand, a story written by fear. But here's the truth they never told you. You can rewrite the story. Not by pretending the pain never happened, but by owning it, by facing it, by standing in front of the mirror and saying, I know why you became this, but we don't need it anymore. Freedom begins with awareness. Every time you catch the voice that says, I'm not good enough, you pause, you question it, and you choose differently. You speak, even when your throat trembles. You rest, even when the guilt screams. You trust, even when it scares you to death. These are the small rebellions. These are the quiet revolutions. The moments when you stop being the prisoner and start becoming the author. And no, healing is not quick. It's not linear, but it is possible. Every time you choose presence over panic, every time you choose truth over hiding, you pull one more string out of the puppet master's hand. And one day, maybe not soon, but eventually, you look around and realize you're no longer performing. You're no longer pretending. You're no longer at war with yourself. You are free. Not because the past changed, but because you did. Take a breath. Not the shallow kind you've been taking to survive, but a deep one, the kind you forgot you deserved. Because if you're still here, still watching, still listening, then somewhere inside you, there's a spark, a part of you that's tired of being asleep, a part of you that knows you were meant for more than just pain. You've lived your life on autopilot, running patterns, fighting shadows, blaming yourself for wounds that were never your fault. But here's your moment, right now, to choose something different, to ask yourself, what would it look like if I stopped surviving and started living? The answers won't come all at once. You'll stumble, you'll forget, you'll fall into the same traps again. But each time you remember, each time you choose presence, choose awareness, choose yourself, you heal. And healing isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's in the quiet moments. When you say no, when you walk away, when you breathe through the fear instead of feeding it. That's how you break the loop. Not by force, but by truth. You were never broken. You were just programmed. But now, you know the code. And once you can see the strings, you can cut them. This is your mind. This is your life. And it's time to take it back.